Okay, let's start significant figures. Okay, there are several rules for the significant figures. Some numbers are given on your screens, and we will see that what types of or what types what how many significants are there in these numbers, and how can we apply the rules of significant figures for counting the significant figures in these numbers. So the first rule of significant figure is all the non-zero digits are always significant figures. So despite their positions, despite the type of the number, whenever a non-zero digit means from 1 till 9, whenever a non-zero digit is written, it must be counted as significant figures. Any confusion with this first rule? Okay, so the first number which is written here is 17. How many significant figures are there in this number? Good, everyone. So two significant figures are there in these numbers. And when we talk about the second number, 5631.54, then in this number, how many significant figures are there? Right, six significant figures. That's good, everyone. Okay, so this is the application of first rule, that whenever we see a non-zero digit, it must be counted as significant figure. Now the second rule about the zeros, about the zeros. So whenever zeros are written between two non-zeros, then this must be counted as significant. For example, in the third number, here, a zero is written between two non-zeros, between two ones. So that zero must be counted as significant figure. So in 101, how many significant figures are there? Right. Three significant figures are there in this 101. And when we talk about the next number, which is 2,000,009, then how many significant figures are there? Right, everyone? Seven significant figures are there in this number. Now let's move towards the third rule. Okay. So it is written 0.5. So this 0.5, in this number, a zero is not written between two non-zeros number. So that's why this zero is not counted as significant figure, and in 0.5 we have only one significant figure, which is 5. Any confusion with this one? Okay, let's see the next number. It's 0.0001305. So how many significant figures are there in this number? No, Hazik, not 7. In this one, we have 4 significant figures because this is the only zero which is written between the non-zeros, and all the other zeros, these all other zeros are not written between the non-zeros number. So that's why these 4 zeros are not counted as significant figure. Only this zero is counted as significant figure, and 135 are non-zeros numbers, so that's why they are significant. So in this number we have 4 significant figures. Right, everyone? Yeah, since this is paper 1. Okay, let's move towards 500. Right, in 500, uh, Aisha, your answer is partially correct. Normally, you guys are counting 500 three significant figure number. But actually, the rule is that whenever zeros are written between two non-zeros number, then we count that these zeros significant. Otherwise, we do not count these zeros significant number. So in 500, we have only one significant number. So when we talk about decimal, so in decimals, we have a different rules. If there is a decimal point in any number, then the trailing zeros will be counted as significant. Otherwise, the trailing zeros will not be counted as significant figures. So in 500, we have only one significant figure. Any confusion with this 500? Fatma, Umaima, Maniha, Furqan, Yasin. Yes, 5 is the, in 500, 5 is the only significant figure, and zeros will not be counted as significant figure. Okay, now what about 10,000? How many significant figures are there? Right, everyone. So in 10,000, we have one significant figure. Okay, now the next number is 500.0. So in this one, we have a decimal. And for decimal numbers, we have rule number 3. And in this one, in rule number 3, the trailing zeros in decimal numbers will be counted as significant. So in 500.0, how many decimal, how many significant figures do we have? Why 2, Furqan? Right. So in this one, four significant figures we have. Not only five and the last zero, all these zeros, all the trailing zeros will be counted as significant in decimal number. So in this one, 500.0, all these zeros are counted as significant because all these zeros are trailing zeros. And 5 is a significant as well. So we have four significant figure in 500.0. Any confusion with this? Alishba, Abir, Azam, Ibad. So what I'm saying about the decimal numbers, a number in which we have a decimal point, that if zero is written before non-zero number, so it will not be counted as significant. But if zero is written after non-zero number, which is called trailing zeros, so those all zeros which are written after non-zero will be counted as significant. Right, Alishba? Okay, so now talk about 0.0310. So in this one, how many significant figures do we have? Why 4, Yasin? Right, Ali? So in 0.0310, we have four significant figures. In this one, when we talk about these two zeros, so these two zeros are not written after non-zero. These two zeros are not trailing zeros. So that's why these two zeros are not counted as significant, and this zero is trailing zero. So this one is counted as significant. So that's why 0.0310 have three significant figures. Okay, let's talk about the next one. In 0.01039500030, how many significant figures do we have? Ali, it's not 10. In this one, we have nine significant figures. Not Abdullah. It's not 8. We have nine significant figures here. All these numbers, all these figures are significant. Okay, so now we are moving towards our next topic, which is estimation. So there are two uses of significant figures according to the exam. The first one, that the significant figures make its own quotient sometimes. A figures or numbers are given and we have to find out that how many significant figures are there in that number. This is the first type of questions in that for the topic of significant figure. And the second application of significant figures is that this significant figure is used in the topic of estimation as well. Now let's start the topic estimation with the question that what is estimation and why do we use estimation? Okay, now that's right. So estimation is a process in which we try to estimate things, in which we do not find the accurate value. The process in which we find the approximate value of anything or any calculation or any expression, right? So can anyone find the relation of the definition of estimation with the figure which is given here? So Furkan, it's possible to give the accurate answer, but it will increase the difficulty. So yes, Umama, it is difficult to calculate the number of balls exactly. So he have to put all the balls out of the jar and then he will count these things. So despite doing all these things, uh, it is better to approximate here. So sometimes giving accurate calculation is difficult, or sometimes it is not suitable to give accurate calculation. So here it is not suitable to give accurate answer, so it is better to give approximate answer. Come on Saad, do not try these. Now an expression is given here and we have to estimate. We do not need to, this is the question from paper 1, and we do not have to calculate the accurate answer. We just need to give the Saad, stop this. We need to estimate the value of the given expression. And the condition or the instructions which are given is uh, writing all the numbers correct to one significant figure. Now here, two things are there. Must remember that first thing that we have to write each number to one significant figure. The first thing we need to remember here. And the second thing we need to remember here is we are going to estimate this expression. If someone gives the accurate answer, if someone just do hand hole calculation and give the accurate answer of this expression, then he will get 0 marks, because they do not write to calculate, they write to estimate. So they need estimated value of this one, right everyone? So two things need to be remembered here. You cannot do the accurate calculation here, and the second thing, that every number should be written to one significant figure, right everyone? Furkan, Hamza, focus on the thing which I'm explaining to you, right? So always remember these two instructions here. Now when we are going to write every number to one significant figure, then 48.9 will be written as 50. Any confusion with this one? Okay, now 0.207 will be written as, right Azam, this will be written as 0.2 or 2 by 10. So 0.2 can be written in the form of fraction, which will be 2 by 10. and 3.94 will be written 4, right? So the entire expression becomes this: 50 into 2 by 10 square over 4. Now 2 by 10 square will be equal to 4 over 100. So the expression becomes 50 into 4 divided by 4 into 100. Any confusion with this one? Now 4 will be reduced with 4 and 50 will be reduced with 100, and we got final answer 1 by 2, which is equal to 0.5. Any confusion with this? Okay, so now there is another question. You all should try this. Okay, so for this one, the answer will be 12,000. 7.84 will be rounded to 8, and 326 will be rounded to 300. And okay, now the next topic is the standard form. Okay, what are standard form? Anything about standard form? Standard form is the process in which we write very large numbers or very small numbers. For example, if we need to write the mass of sun, then that number is very large. So we use standard form to write the mass of sun. And if we need to write the mass of electron or mass of an atom, then this will be a very small number. So for both very large and very small numbers, we use standard form. So for standard form, we have 2 points. These are the numbers which are written with the powers of 10. And the second number, that in standard form, we must have decimal after the first non-zero digit. Right, Furkan? Begins with non-zero digit and always have decimal after the first digit. So now standard form is written in this way. So now here the hash is representing the non-zero digit. So it must be written as hash dot hash. So if it is 21, like if we have 21 into 10 raised to 5. So 21 is not representing the standard form. It must be written as 2.1. Getting this one, everyone? So in the standard form, there must be a decimal point, and decimal point must be written after the first digit, and the first digit must be non-zero. So if it is written 0.2, so 0.2 is not standard form, because standard form cannot be started with 0. And if it is 19, then 19 is also not the standard form, because it should be 1.9. Okay, now let's see example number 1. So we are going to write 700 into the standard form. So 700 can be written as 7 into 100, and 100 can be written as 10 square. So 700 can be written as 7 into 10 square. So that will be the standard form of 700. Any confusion with this one? Okay, now let's see standard example 2. In example 2, we are going to write 1400 in the standard form. So for 1400, this could be written as 1.4, because if we write 14, then 14 will not be the standard form. So 1400, we are converting this 1400 to 1.4, and 1.4 into 1000, and 1000 can be written as 10 raised to 3. So the standard form will be 1.4 is to 10 raised to 3. Okay, now let's see example 3. In this one, the smallest number is given, or the smaller number is given, which is less than 1. So 0.0005. Now this can be written as fraction like 5 over 10,000, and 1 over 10,000 can be written as 10 raised to 4. 10 raised to minus 4, sorry. So this can be written as 5 into 10 raised to minus 4. Now, calculation with the standard form, when we are multiplying or dividing two numbers which are given in the standard form, then rule first, then when we need to multiply or divide two numbers which are given in the standard form, then we solve numbers separately and we solve tens separately. Any confusion with this one? We solve tens separately and we solve numbers separately. For example, the first number which is given is 4 into 10 raised to 4. This is our first number. And second number is given 2 into 10 raised to 3. And we are going to multiply these two numbers. Now, we solve tens separately and numbers separately. So when we solve tens, so it's 10 raised to 4 into 10 raised to 3 becomes 10 raised to 7. And when we solve numbers, so these will be 4 into 2 becomes 8. So the final answer will be 8 into 10 raised to 7. Any confusion with this? Maniha, Atika. Yes, Abir. But that's okay. Okay, let's see another example. We are multiplying 8 into 10 raised to 5 with 7 into 10 raised to 4. Right, Yasin, right, Saad. Okay, so this will becomes 56 into 10 raised to 9. But must remember about this number that this 56 is not the standard form. So when the question is given in the standard form, then you are supposed to give your answer also in standard form. If you leave here, then you will not get the mark. So 56 into 10 raised to 9 is not the standard form. Now you have to convert this 56 into the standard form. Right, Ali? So that will be 5.6 into 10 raised to 10. Maniha, can you hear me? Yes, please. Maniha, can you hear me? Is it clear to everyone? Example 2. Okay, now we are moving towards division. So again, in the division, we work with 10 separately. So when we work with 10 separately, so it will be subtraction of indices, and that will be 3 raised to 10. And when we divide 9 by 3, it will be 3. So the result will be 3 is to 10 raised to 9. Sir, we have done that previously. Yes, this is just a paper one, and this is just a revision. So the assignments, your home assignment or follow-up assignment will be the unit 1D of uh, classified past papers.